The Vintage Film Festival really started with a fire in this house, the birthplace of Marie Dressler. The story of Marie Dressler is fascinating. She's an unlikely star. During her career, she had many ups and downs, and I think finished on top in her mid-60s, winning the Academy Award in 1931 and being the highest grossing movie star in 1932 and 1933. She had cachet for a restaurant, and which was here for years and years and years. It was considered pretty high-end. And then, of course, this fire was quite disastrous. The Patchetts, Bill Patchett and his wife Delphine, leading citizens and really amazing supporters of Coburg, just didn't take no for an answer. So they said, we're going to put the thing back.
Many years ago, Bob Ansberry and I were traveling along King Street, and we stopped in front of the old restaurant that had a fire the night before and literally destroyed it. We parked there for a few minutes, and Bob and I decided that maybe we should buy this for the Chamber of Commerce. And Bob looked at me and I looked at him, and he thought I was crazy. But anyway, we went ahead with it.
One of the fundraising ideas was to have a banquet. And then while we were at it, we said, well, why not show a film?
We played Dinner at 8 for the very first spectacle at the Park Theatre. That is no longer a theatre now, unfortunately. But it was so much fun, and we wore long gowns, and we were on the sidewalk welcoming everyone to come in.
That sort of happened 3 times, I think. I'm not sure how it osmosed into a film festival, but obviously we decided, well, why don't we just put on a films, charge admission, and raise money that way to keep Dressler House going.
I'm Barbara Garrick. I'm from Coburg. I was co-chair of the film festival 30 years ago. I knew Delphine and Bill Patchett, and they asked me to belong. I went to film festivals in Syracuse, New York, and Saginaw, Michigan, and I got ideas how a film festival can go.
Our first film festival was at the same hotel, the Best Western, but it was spread out over a weekend. We're lucky enough to have 3 people who helped us, people who were really knowledgeable about film. Gerald Prattley, Cam Tolton, who taught film at U of T, and Barry Hain, he was also a film teacher at U of T. They just thought it was great to do this. So we would meet and I would listen, and they would say, how about this film? How about that film? And we'd work out a program. Well, we always showed Dressler movies. We only stopped when we'd really worked through just all of them, and some of them more than once. We just tried to make it a variety show, really, and to pick out the best of the films. And we said that they all had to be at least 50 years old at the time. And we still have that rider, but now we're up into the 70s.
The thing about the start of the film festival is we had it all over the place till we had about maybe 5 years.
You know, we were like a road show then. We were moving from venue to venue. We were at the hotel, we were up in Northumberland Heights, we were at the Lions Center, the basement of the mall.
We were out at a restaurant way out in the hills north of Grafton. We took a school bus and they rode out in the country on the school bus to see the movies.
Finally, we moved into Victoria Hall, which was a superior location for sure for us. And then when the Capitol became available, it's a real cinema as opposed to a flat floor.
Once we got to the Capitol in Port Hope, that was just such a relief.
My name is Rick Hill, and I'm presently the chair of the Vintage Film Festival. Joined the committee in 2018 because I've been attending the festival off and on for, I don't remember how many years. Eventually I saw, being on the committee must be, far too much fun. I think that's the case of many people. Quite a few of the present members of the committee, I think, were fans first, attended the festival often and thought, gee, I'd like to be a part of this.
The way I became involved with a Vintage Film Festival was through my husband, who does websites and posters and so on, and he decided to join the group. Now, he said, I think it's couples, so you better come along as well. So here I am. I just think, like any event, any gala, anything like that, what people are looking for is camaraderie. They like this sort of thing. They like to discuss. And that's where the brown bag lunches come in, where, you know, people can listen to a speaker and then there's lots of chatter afterwards.
Sunday lunches, especially when we were over at the Capitol, that was very well accepted by the people, and they made reservations. People from Toronto loved it.
We're committed to educate people and make sure that they're getting a complete survey sample of vintage film each year.
But we try to make a balance between types, you know, comedy, drama, and oldest.
So 2 silent films, and also always showing a foreign language film with subtitles, trying to mix it up. Generally, we try to have the program really mixed up anyway. We've got dramas, we've got comedies, we've got musicals, we've got film noir, we've got horror films. So silent films certainly are part of that mix, and there aren't that many opportunities that people have to go see a silent film on a big screen, especially with a live accompanist.
Well, a piano player sits down on the piano stool, and when the movie starts, he starts playing, and he reacts to what he feels for the film. If he wants it to be exciting, well, then he makes it loud and fast, and if he wants it to be calm and loving, he makes it slower and more moderate.
With the tight wire act going on of a live accompanist playing, to some extent making up the music as the film is unrolling on the screen, lends a sort of thrill to the experience too. People who haven't experienced that really need to.
I've always been interested in murder mysteries. When there was a chance to say, can we do an Alfred Hitchcock afternoon, we did it, and it was so popular.
Cherished memory of my wife and mine was one year the festival showed Hitchcock's Foreign Correspondent. We just cherry-picked that one movie, watched it, loved it. Came out of the Capitol Theater, it was raining. We went across the road to the pizza place, had a pizza together, a little red wine, talked about the movie. And we remember that so many times since then. It was just one of those great little occasions, you know.
It is wonderful to see people's reaction to the film, and sometimes they clap and sometimes they get up standing. They're right in it.
I think there's nothing like it, sharing film with an audience. You get energy from it, I think.
I think the festival brings people together. People who come regularly, like every year, they come and say hello. There were 2 couples, and one was out in Burlington and the other was out in Kingston. And they met at the hotel they were staying at, and for 10 years they all met. And I'll always remember that they came up and would say, you know, here we are again, and that was the way it was.
My sister and I, when we were young, we often went to movies with my parents. Just the other day, talking to my mother, I mean, she was remembering occasions when she went to a certain movie in a certain place with her mother. I've tried to introduce our sons to some vintage films. Now we've got granddaughters, and I'm looking forward to getting them into stuff. So part of what we're doing with the Vintage Film Festival is offering that experience again in a classic theater, movie theater from the time, showing these films on the big screen with big sound and in an audience full of other people.